What? Bang!
Wrestling podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep screwed rep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable.
I'm too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am the Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for...
It's me, Austin.
I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available exclusively through Facebook. Get into storylines, create a wrestler, headline pay-per-views, all sorts of stuff that you would find in real wrestling, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available now to all Facebook users, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like my good buddy John down in Texas, then pop over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. We got loyalty rewards for you. $15 a month contributor, you get to co-host a show with myself. $7.50 a month, enter into a drawing to also co-host a show with me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, something you want us to touch on in the future episode, call us. Pro Wrestling Sound Off line 267-642-1160, and we will get to those in a future episode. But for this episode, we are jumping straight into the reactions from Night 2 of WWE Summer Slam 2025, and what a huge ending to the night. Let's start with Cody Rhodes defeating John Cena via pinfall in the street fight to once again become the undisputed WWE champion. Not only does he win the match, he wins it clean. I get it, it's a street fight, it's not clean, there's tons of weapons, and I love how people were acting like there was something wrong with anything Cody did during the match, or John Cena for that matter. It's a street fight, it's supposed to be weapons and everything else. I love the match. I thought it was a fantastic match. I thought it was the best match of the entire SummerSlam card, and honestly, I love the fact that Cody won the way that he did. I know there were people who were expecting The Rock to appear, some kind of interference, a double turn. Was John Cena's babyface turn on SmackDown legitimate? Was it nonsense leading to something different here? I actually love that it was real. I love that John Cena is back to being a babyface. The fans were not going to accept this heel turn. They just weren't. In terms of a program and a storyline, the John Cena heel turn is a colossal failure because of the lack of follow-up by The Rock. That being said, the babyface turn, though I think in a horrible placement, putting that on a SmackDown, I think works out very well, especially for what's coming in the future. Cody Rhodes winning the championship. Now he is freed up to move into another program. Who knows who his opponent's going to be? I suspect at some point we go down that rabbit hole of Cody versus Randy Orton for the the undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena, as they were finishing up the match, I'm thinking to myself, like, where do we go from here? When he was still in the ring, you knew somebody was going to come out. I actually expected The Rock to come out and be angry that Cena lost and all this other stuff. It would have made a lot of sense, again, for the storyline. But like, we shouldn't even be surprised at this point. The Rock not there, and that's, in a lot of ways, disappointing if you were expecting it. I'm over-expecting it. I think The Rock, he shows up when he wants to, doesn't care what programs he damages or what storylines he affects. He's in it for the money. That's where my head's at this point. I don't see him doing things that are better for the business. Now, when he came back originally and he tried to take Cody's spot at Mania, Bad idea. They pivot, they shift, they go to the Cody and Seth Rollins tag team match. I was okay with that, though it wasn't something that The Rock wanted to do initially. I love that on all the documentaries try to claim like he thought this up. He did not. That was the fan reaction that caused that to happen. I thought the build up to the 41 situation, the 40 situation was fantastic. Going into 41, coming out at the Netflix premiere and making it sound like you buried the hatchet with Cody, only to go to the I Want Your Soul nonsense, leading to the Elimination Chamber, the John Cena heel turn, the Travis Scott involvement. This was set up to be amazing. We still have never had any follow-up from last year when he did the whole handing him a gift when he shook his hand thing on Raw. There's been no follow-up from The Rock. Why would we expect there to be any tonight? The thing that shocks me is the appearance of the returning Brock Lesnar. His music hit. There was a huge eruption from the crowd. I think as many people were cheering because they wanted to, they were thrilled to see Brock, as were shocked that Brock Lesnar, still involved in an active lawsuit against WWE and from Janelle Grant, that he was able to appear. This actually validates something Triple H said a year ago when someone asked him at the press conference about Brock, and he said, we're willing to do stuff. It's all up to Brock. What is when Brock's ready to do business? Well, apparently Brock is ready to do business. Apparently TKO the legal team is willing to work with Brock Lesnar because he came back tonight. And I'll be honest with you, right? For a few seconds, you know what I really wanted to see since this was his last SummerSlam, and no matter how you cut it, Survivor Series is not as big as SummerSlam or WrestleMania. I was actually kind of hoping you would have brought out maybe the 4 biggest rivals that John Cena has ever had. And the ones that you have that you can get there. You could have had Randy Orton. You could have had Brock Lesnar. You could have had CM Punk. It would have been great to have Edge, but obviously that's not going to happen. Pick another opponent that Cena had an amazing program with or a long-standing feud with. Even if it was Triple H himself, I don't even care. And have the 4 guys surround the ring, get into the ring, and celebrate with Cena for his last uber-huge PLE appearance. I would have been okay with that. Not that I was surprised that it was not that. We need something for Cena to do. He has 9 appearances left the rest of the year. It looks like, look, let's think about the timing here. This, to me, tells me that they will probably see this match in Saudi Arabia. That's what makes sense to me. Cena versus Brock. The Saudi Arabian government probably got involved in this conversation. It's probably a big part of why WWE and TKO were willing to bring Brock back, is for the Saudi Arabia payoff. That's where I think we'll see this match. He hits the ring. He hits the F5 on Cena. It sets up a future encounter with these two. In the Cena retirement tour, this is what I didn't need. Not that I'm against Brock. Look, I get, all the personal stuff, and I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with that. Again, that's character outside. I'm just talking about within the business. Within the business, all along for years since he debuted, I've always been a Brock Lesnar fan. People who have seen the website that I used to have up, I had pictures and stuff like that. It was one of my favorite pictures when I took a picture with Brock Lesnar in 2003. I've been a long-term fan of Brock's. So seeing him come back, I'm thrilled to see the guy back. At the same time, when you only have limited dates, I want to see Cena do things that make an impact for talent that are going to be there when he's gone. We've seen Cena versus Brock. We've seen it multiple times. We saw it way back when he was still, Thugonomics Cena. We saw it again when he became, Super Cena. We saw it again when Brock came back at Extreme Rules. We saw it again at a SummerSlam after that, where Brock took him to Suplex City 900,000 times. We've seen it over and over and over again. We don't need to see it again for this this farewell tour. Now, it's interesting I say that because I almost sound hypocritical, because we wanted the whole CM Punk thing, but that was different. That was very different because the pipe bomb and all that stuff is so historic, and that all came out of that feud. I can't remember a whole lot of stuff other than the actual matches themselves that came from the Cena Brock stuff. If you were going to bring back former opponents, this would not have been one that I would have gone with. Now, we already saw the Randy Orton. We saw the CM Punk. So I guess maybe this ties into trying to check off one more time with all these people that he's had history with. I just would have preferred it be a newer talent, somebody. And if you're going to run it back with somebody, run it back with Seth Rollins now. Seth is now the World Heavyweight Champion. Cena could have ran that feud back. We still would have loved to have seen Cena and Roman again if you're going to run something back. Those make sense to me. Even a Cena solo, is Cena and Jacob Fatu, a Cena and Gunther we've talked about repeatedly. All of those make sense. We only have 9 appearances left. Mathematically, it's almost impossible for most of those to take place. I wouldn't even mind a Cena-Dominic Mysterio feud, as weird as that may sound. How bizarre would this be? Ready? Here comes my crazy booking. Dominic Mysterio on the 16th of August at Triple Mania for AAA is going to be wrestling for the AAA Mega Championship. Why? You know how much I think it would be hilarious to have John Cena win the AAA Mega Championship before he leaves? Or go to TNA and win the TNA Heavyweight Championship from Trick Williams? I don't even care. All of that makes more sense to me because of who you're in the ring with than this does. Again, not sad to see Brock. Like seeing Brock, but this didn't hit the way I would have loved for it to hit. I would have preferred The Rock or something else that made more sense, the double turn or something. But at the end of the day, easily the best match, in my opinion, of the night. It was not a long match, so to speak. It took up a good chunk of time, but a good part of that time was walking around. You know, it's 37 minutes, 45 seconds total time of the match, which I guess is a lengthy match, certainly by WWE terms. But with all the walking and all that, took up a lot of time, just saying. Let's go to the rest of the card, because we got to cover the rest of it too. The show opened with what could have easily been the main event. Naomi defeating Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to retain the Women's World Championship. I predicted that ahead of time. I don't see Rhea conquering her Achilles heel in Io Sky unless it's at WrestleMania. I think this is beautiful for Naomi now getting a chance to go for that Crown Jewel Championship. What I would have liked to have seen is Jade Cargill pick up the WWE Women's Championship to have that big match between Naomi and Jade for that championship. Obviously, they didn't do that. So now we're going to see, I guess, Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. Unless something changes between now and then, we could still see Stephanie Vaquer in France win the championship there. There is rumor that they're going to put a rocket ship on her and shoot her to the moon, too. So that's possible. But I think the Ripley-Io thing has to happen at Mania for Rhea to finally get her win over Io. It is also strange that Rhea's never won at SummerSlam. I actually had not thought of that. All the more reason it leaves that for a future opportunity. And Naomi, this may be one of her final big runs because she wants to start a family and she's got some reproductive concerns. I'm thrilled for Naomi. It was a decent match. I don't think it was anywhere near as good as the match at WrestleMania that they had. But this was still a very solid match. We go to the tables, ladders, and chairs match. All right, this is where I'm going to complain a little bit. I get it. The original TLC had a lot of outside interference. Each team had like somebody who came out. I was fine with that. I think, the Wyatt Six had Nikki Cross come out. DIY having Candice, which it looked like Candice took a heck of a spill there. Hopefully she's okay. Fraxium has nobody that could have come out for them. You could have had an NXT superstar debut and represent them. Same thing with the Machine Guns. I don't know who you'd have had to represent them. Street Profits had B-Fab there. Everybody should have had somebody, and you missed an opportunity here, in my opinion, because Andrade and Rey Fenix could have had somebody come out who's not on the card, who needs to be, if you're really serious about his talent, and that would have been Penta. Imagine the eruption if Penta would have come out for Andrade and Rey Fenix. I actually was kind of hoping that they would do an angle where the Wyatt Six would have attacked Andrade before the bell started, and you could have taken Andrade out of the match and replaced Andrade with Penta, and Penta and Phoenix could have won the championships, so you could have unified the Lucha Bros. I would have loved that. Instead, Wyatt Six retain. I'm okay with the retention. Here comes my complaint. My complaint is, I'm okay with outside interference, one person per team, but this was like 6 people, or 5-6 people against all these other teams that didn't have anywhere near that advantage. It gets to be laborious. It really does. It's one thing you had Eric Rowan come out. I was fine with that. But then when you also have Nikki Cross and you have Uncle Howdy, it gets too much. Especially when we go to our next match with Becky Lynch retaining the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship over Lyra Valkyria due to the outside interference of Bayley. Now we've got back-to-back matches with outside interference directly resulting in the outcome of the match. That is a problem. It's a problem because it's a pattern. This was a great match, and I always expected Bayley to get involved, but if she's going to get involved, you had to do less in the ladder match, the TLC match. Instead, you have crazy interference in the second match. You have crazy interference in this match. I'm fine with how it went down. Really didn't turn Bayley heel, but it's definitely something you could do if you wanted to. I'm really hoping they don't turn her heel, but it does make a lot of sense for her to align with Becky Lynch as like the OGs to go against the younger generation, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in the coming weeks. And then we get to this running theme here. Solo Sikoa defeats Jacob Fatu by escaping the cage and retains the WWE United States Championship. Again, massive outside interference. One guy coming out to defend Jacob Fatu, 3 guys coming out for Solo Sikoa. It's obnoxious. It's overkill. Unless you were going to debut more people to help out Jacob Fatu, the guy's got a family infinitely long. Bring somebody else in, okay, or do something, you know. And this was just too much. There was no feasible way for Jacob Fatu to win this match. And I think the high spot everybody wanted was the flip off the top of the cage. You saved that for the post-match part where you had JC Mateo and Tonga Loa in the ring. And I love the spot, but that should have been something he did to Solo, not to 2 lackeys after the match is over. It really killed the importance of him hitting that moonsault off the top of the cage. I was okay with Jimmy Uso being out there. I was okay with all the other guys being there. 3 straight matches with outside interference. And it created anxiety heading into match 5, where you see Dominic Mysterio retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship over AJ Styles. Essentially clean. Not clean because, you know, he unzips his boot. AJ puts him in a calf crusher, much like the WrestleMania match with Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle years ago, where, you know, Kurt Angle puts on the ankle lock, pulls off the boot, Eddie gets away. The difference here being that he takes the boot and waffles AJ with it, hits the frog splash for the win. I'm okay with the win, but because of the previous 3 matches, you were waiting for Judgment Day to come out the whole time, expecting outside interference, and there was none. None whatsoever. Finn Balor and JD McDonough were not anywhere on this pay-per-view. That's a problem. They're the World Tag Team Champions. They should have been featured somewhere. This is a match that needed some outside interference. They could have easily had it. AJ could have fought it off, and you still could have done everything you did to finish up the match, and it would have made more sense. This match needed it. Some of the others did not. And then, of course, we're back to the Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Brock Lesnar thing. So that's the rundown of the card. Overall, let's do it this way. Night 2, a decent show. Some really incredible. I think the Naomi Rhea Io match was solid. I think the TLC match was actually very good. I just didn't love all the outside stuff, especially Wyatt 6 related. Becky and Lyra, they delivered. I just didn't like the outside interference again. Solo and Jacob Fatu was a little bit of a letdown. I felt like it was very, very basic. You know, there was not the complexity that you were hoping to see, especially from Jacob Fatu. The guy can do much more than just doing his backflip. He really can, and super kicks. I feel like all the matches between these guys, the whole Bloodline faction, any side of it, is all a super kick party. People make fun of the Young Bucks for super kick parties, but that's the entire Bloodline except for Roman Reigns. So whatever, that match just did not wow me. The Mysterio Styles match, 10 minutes, 45 seconds. That match should have gone a lot longer. I think it could have really delivered in another 5 minutes, 5 to 7. Really give them time, and for 2 reasons. 1, it makes the pay-per-view feel more substantial. 2, Dominic Mysterio is heading into headline Triple Mania. Dominic Mysterio, I'm just giving my opinion, has become such a consistent performer. It would be beautiful to see him really put into an opportunity to go out there for a much longer period of time, and that did not happen in this match. I really would have liked to see him get more time to showcase himself. The Cody Cena match, by far best match of the night. Now, in comparison to night 1, I don't think there is any match on the card both nights that competes with the Cody Cena match, unless, I cannot believe I'm going to say this, the Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Randy Orton Jelly Roll match. That's the only other match that I felt like had the level of intensity that this match had. Go figure. And a big part of that being Jelly Roll taking those 2 huge spots with Logan Paul. Pay-per-view as a whole, very happy. I thought night 1 was better than night 2, except for the final match. But as a whole, the 2 nights, fantastic pay-per-view. WWE's doing a great job. I wish there'd be less interference, less repetitive booking for the storylines. But look, Nothing's going to be perfect. I think Triple H is doing a fantastic job, and we have a lot to look forward to in the coming weeks and months. And I can't wait to see where we go with the next with John Cena's retirement tour. But we got 9 more appearances, several, France. We've got Perth. We've got at least 3 pay-per-views in the United States. We've got that last this December appearance, probably a Saturday Night Main Event. So a lot to go. We'll have to see where that goes. All in all, great night of wrestling action. I hope you were surprised. I hope you were entertained. WWE put on a good one tonight. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks to Suno AI for generating the music and sound effects on our show. Today's show is sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and picking up your copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college, university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life educational planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us tonight after Summer Slam 2025 Night 2. Until next time, take care. Have a great night, everybody.
Wrestling Podcast.